they got into it or what got them into it or who introduced them to it. What got you into real estate?
Well, usually people say, go into real estate because there's a lot of money in it. And there could be. And there is a lot of money in real estate. And that was my first motivation. But after my first transaction, I really loved what I did. I mean, the satisfaction of getting the first time home buyer in their home and the gratitude that they have and seeing them that their dream came true, the American dream of having a home, that was very, very satisfying. And ever since, that's why I do real estate, because it just makes me feel happy to help somebody else.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So what gave you the idea, I want to be a realtor? Did you just wake up one day and just, what? Real estate. It's going to be it.
No, my friend, Jennifer Walker, she's the one that said, she got her license and she's like, you should do real estate, because I was bilingual and she needed somebody to speak Spanish, and she's like, you would do really good. So then I got my license, and then first I was her assistant, but I'm a horrible assistant. So she's like, you better get your license or you're fired. So then I got my license, and ever since then, I've done real estate.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I stopped for a while because I have two little daughters, a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old.
That's awesome.
And yes, real estate is really good, but it really takes your time. So I wanted to dedicate time to my girls, because I have
time for your family.
Yes, I have a 21-year-old, and I was so busy back then that I really wasn't there for him. But I love my job. So what I do is, I would work from 8 to 10 or midnight, because I love real estate, and when you have time guidelines, you have to do things within a certain time. Mm-hmm. So, and people work, so you got to do what you got to do.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So you mentioned that you had your real estate license kind of since 2003. Tell me, did you do, as you were in real estate, did you do a lot of buyers? Were you more into, were you a sales agent? What was your niche? What did you like to do versus what do you like to do now?
Well, in 2003, from 2003 to 2014, I was more of a buyer agent, mm-hmm. Because my partner, Jennifer, was taking the listings. So we worked, coherent. So I would go show the houses, and Jennifer would do the listings.
The listing side.
Yes. But, so that's why I always had the gratitude of the buyers buying.
Interesting. Very cool.
Yes.
So that's an awesome why, to be a part of someone's experience. Like, I know one of my favorite types of buyers are that first-time home buyer. Yes. It's their first home loan. You're gonna show them all the details. This is how this works. This is what this number means. We need concessions. That's this is what concessions are. We're gonna get you this interest rate, or if you want this interest rate, we can do this. And it's just on the lending side, I know that feeling. It's pretty awesome.
Yes, buying a house is the most important decision that you're going to make, because you're going to have a 30-year loan, and it's going to be your biggest asset, right? It's going to be way bigger than a car. So it is very important that you know what you're getting into, that the house that you like, you're going to be happy with it for a while, because you want your family to grow in it, and you want to make sure that you're happy each time you pay your mortgage.
So tell me this, what are some of the things that you would ask your buyers to find out what type of house they want, or what type of area they want to live in, or find out what's important to them?
Well, it all depends, like if a school is really good, that's something that you're looking for the kids, you want to make sure that they're in the district that you want them to be. So that's one thing. And then if work is, do you rather be closer to work, or just be, the neighborhood that you like the best? Do you mind driving, or you do not mind driving? So those are the things that people need to consider, or, within, I'm going to be here, but am I going to outgrow this house, soon? Or do I want to, I'm only going to be here for 3 years at this work, and then I'm going to retire. So do I want to get already my house in Tonopah, or Surprise out of the busy city, because we're growing so fast?
No, agreed.
Yes.
Yeah, because I feel like one of the hardest things about working with buyers, especially buyers that haven't really bought before, is mm-hmm. finding out what they want and what they're going to be happy with, and are they going to be okay with the payment that comes along with it. And having that synergy with your realtor, as a lender is crucial to make that process frustration free for the buyer.
Yes. For example, sometimes you're like, oh, you look at houses, and you're like, oh, it's not really what I wanted. For a first-time home buyer, sometimes you're not going to buy your dream home, but it's the initiative of buying something, gain equity, and then your second home will be your dream home. Because you got to start somewhere, and sometimes, you start with the car that you really don't like, okay, but now you pay it off and then you get to the car that you want. So as a first-time home buyer, sometimes they get discouraged because it's not the home that they want, but you start somewhere and then you gain what you want because you'll have that equity instead of paying rent. So start somewhere, start building equity, and then buy what you really want, what you can afford, and you'll be happy. Start somewhere, that's the thing,
Gotta get out there, and you actually have to, buy the real estate.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people, will look at houses, and you'll have those clients that call you, and they like this house like that, but they never want to make the commitment to make an offer or actually go buy the house. Or I know I have the clients that just don't want to, they don't want to invest the down payment, or they don't want to, do the necessary credit repair to get down payment assistance, or there's always that,
Yes.
those clients that have a lot of heart in what they say, but their actions say something a little different.
Exactly. It's hard, to be committed to something. But once we take their baby steps, once you take that first step, it's easier to do the second step. Like when we start walking, how many times do we fall before we start actually walking? So it's just good to first ask the questions, get informed. It doesn't charge you anything to get informed, get the information that you need. Is it, okay, what do I need to do to work on my credit, okay, I'm not going to buy right now, but, let me start a plan. Let me start getting, $100 a month. See, with 2 or 3 years, you can have for the down payment, but you start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. That's
Exactly.
the most important thing.
Yes.
I agree with that. So tell me, 2019 was kind of a crazy year for real estate here in Arizona. We went from having not a lot of houses, but a lot more houses available, to now it's very slim pickings around. And everyone thought rates were going to go up, and rates just kept going down, and they're still kind of trending down, and it's been different. So what was 2019 like? Did you have what were some of the things that you learned from 2019's market to help you kind of move into 2020?
Well, the market, like you've said, the houses, we have a very low inventory compared to past years. And it's what I learned is that if you have a buyer and you find something that you like, make an offer, because it might not be there tomorrow, and then you're going to miss out. And you can't go back in time. So
Agreed. Definitely can't go back in time.
Exactly. So if you want that house, take your chances. If it's meant for you, it's going to happen. Make the offer, and you have your 10-day inspection period to make sure that that's the house you want. But you don't want to lose out on an opportunity that you have time. Once you do an offer, you still have time to make sure that that's the house that you want. So.
Absolutely. And we always recommend getting an inspection, by the way. Don't not get an inspection. Get your inspection, check it out, make sure that it's solid, and then go for it.
That's right. Yeah, because inventory is low, so.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about you outside of real estate. Do you have any hobbies outside of, buying and selling?
Well, I'm a workaholic, but thanks to my husband, yes, we have a hobby. My husband is a team roper, so I sometimes go with him to the practice on team roping.
For everyone who doesn't know what team roping is.
Team roping is you either steer you get the head or you get the feet from the steer. So it's a teamwork. So you do that a lot. They have the finals in Las Vegas in December. So we usually go in December to Las Vegas for the finals. We go to Wickenburg. There's ropings all over. The month of February, there's a lot of ropings. I'm like, people, what do you do?
So it's the busy season.
Yes.
That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about how that is for you guys. Do you guys compete? How does that work?
Yes, he competes. He pays his entry, and then he gets 3 rounds, and whoever does the least time with the roping, then that's the one who wins. And you can get either buckles, saddles, saddle pads, steers, not steers, sorry, what is it? Spears. Is it spears? No.
I don't know.
Oh, the thing that you put on your
I know what you're talking about.
espuelas in español.
Okay, perfect. But
Yes.
I know what you're talking about on the back of the boots. Those
Yes.
it's been around. Yes, yes.
Those ones. And the girls love it. I mean, they get to run around, look at the horses.
Yeah,
play with
your
other
girls
kids.
must love the horses.
Oh, yes. Yes. So it's nice to, get out of the routine, and he definitely needs that. We need to get out of the routine and have a hobby to, see other people out of our comfort zone and, just relax and not talk about, your regular day.
Exactly. Kind of do something different.
Yes.
Yeah, I totally get that. I didn't pin you guys as that you guys did kind of like extreme sports almost. I mean, that's pretty cool. You guys riding around on horses, getting
He
them
does.
down.
I don't. I haven't ridden a horse in a long time. I had a torn ALC.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, so I chickened out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I do like going with him.
Cool. So tell me a little bit about how does real estate, a lot of people that have kids and have a family, they really like real estate because of the freedom it gives them, to kind of create your own schedule and kind of, build the business around your life. Have you found that to be something that, works for you, or is that part of it, been a standout for you?
Well, the thing of it is, when you do something that you like, you never work, because you do it out of love, out of passion. That's what you like. So it's not like working, but it is very, very good to have the flexibility, to set up your appointments and, be able to meet with clients after school or before school. Mm-hmm. So I think it is a good thing than having to work from 8 to 5 and not
be able to kind of control anything in between.
Exactly. So you have a lot of, when you have that rapport with your client, and then, you make it work.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. So tell me this. What are some of the most memorable transactions that you've gone through? Maybe a couple positive ones that were really great, maybe a couple ones that were a little more, interesting, let's say.
Well, every transaction is different because there's no such thing as, cookie cutters.
Or a smooth transaction.
Exactly.
There are a few smooth transactions. They exist. We've heard of them.
Yes.
Just like we've heard of the unicorn.
Yes.
So
they're real, right? Unicorns are real.
I've heard of a smooth transaction. I've heard of those 10-day closes where underwriting doesn't come back with any conditions and house appraises for more than it's supposed to, and client loves the rate and everything's great.
Everything's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Like I said before, so every transaction is different, but all my transactions, the satisfaction of the buyers being happy when I give them their keys and they already have plans, with the bedrooms, of the living room. They've been planning of painting it. It's very satisfying. And I had this transaction where the client, it was a transaction, and he really didn't want to. He was going to cancel 4 times, and I said, you know what, this is a great opportunity. And then he finally listened to me, and it was like a 6-month transaction because back then it was a commercial and the market wasn't so good, so it was a hard loan, and I saw him like 3 or 4 years ago, and he's like, hey, you're just selling? I'm like, yes, how's it going? And then he's like, you know what, I wanted to thank you because thanks to that transaction that you pushed me to do, I've been able to buy 2 other commercial properties.
Wow.
Yes, I mean, this property has given me, 3 times of what it was worth then, and thank you so much for being persistent. So those are the type of stories that keeps me in real estate.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So I would say that would be a very positive effect. That's one of those great transactions. Wouldn't it be nice if we had 95%? Just,
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's it's one of those things where it reminds you, this is why, we get up. This is why we put all this effort in with these people so that we can make a difference.
Right.
What about a harder transaction? Did you have any where the client was a little more difficult, or maybe the, really, have you had any difficult clients, or all your clients generally pretty nice?
You know what? There was a transaction where the client was a little bit difficult. It was for land, and he didn't want to go through the whole, because buying a house and buying land is totally different.
Yeah.
So it was a really good opportunity, and he didn't give it a chance, and he canceled, and I think it was something that he's been regretting since, because
land kind of went up in value,
Yes, I mean, from when he was going to buy it to now, it's just
totally different.
yes. So, and you have those ones, because buying, anything that you do that is good is going to be hard, right?
Agreed.
So you have to be persistent. You have to, get over those obstacles that, life is putting, because it's just a challenge, and the challenge is, getting through to your goal. So sometimes people get discouraged very easily, and it's sad because from the get-go, if you're helping them, that it's a good investment for them.
Absolutely, because you wouldn't want to be a part of it if it was,
Exactly.
a bad deal.
That's why as a real estate agent, you're looking out for the fiduciary duty of your client. You want the best for them. You know that this is something that's going to help them and their family, and that's why they came out for your advice.
There you go. It sounds like, you work real hard for your clients, and, most of your clients seem really nice, which is, that's awesome.
Yes, I mean, I'm very happy with the clients that I've had, so no complaints.
That's great.
Yes.
So tell me about what your goals are for 2020. What do you want to accomplish as far as, real estate goes? Are you looking to, do more listings? Are you looking to do more buyers? Are you looking to invest personally? What's Gisella's plan?
I do think that 2020, I do want to get more into the listings, and of course buyers, but I do want to focus on listings as well.
Okay.
So,
tell me a little bit about how have you kind of started that journey? Looking for different ways to, because I know doing the buyers and doing the listings, there's challenges on both ends, and there's a difference in doing them. Have you done any have you had any experience with that?
with listings, yes. I had a listing, and it was a challenge listing, and I actually did get it under contract. Unfortunately, it wasn't able to close for title reasons, so nothing that had to do with me. But marketing the property, it was. I marketed the property, did open houses. It had a lot of traffic, and the property was so beautiful too, so that helped a lot. But what was the question again?
Tell me about your open houses, actually, because we were doing open houses before the new year, and then I know just Christmas came along and New Year's came along, and it just blew us all out of the water. We didn't do as many open houses, but tell me about your system for doing open houses. What do you think about open houses? What are some of the different things that you've done over the years to kind of perfect your open house?
Well, I think an open house is actually just a window of opportunity for the buyers or the sellers, because some people in the neighborhood might be thinking about selling the home, but they're not so sure. So it gives them the opportunity to compare their house to the one that's open, and have an idea of what their money is. Because the one thing that you don't know as a seller is like, well, how much is my house worth, right? So you don't know how much equity you have in it, and what's out there. So it gives you the opportunity, if a seller is looking for how much my property is, they can go to the open houses that are in their neighborhood. And if they want to buy something, they can go out and look at other homes and see what the square footage is. For the buyers, having the open house gives them the opportunity to see what the square footage difference is. Because sometimes you ask a buyer, because sometimes a buyer is like, so how many square feet do you want your house to be? And they're like, what does that mean? So you really don't know what the square footage means, because as a realtor you're like, oh, this is 1,300, this is 2,000 square feet, and people sometimes think that the garage is part of the square footage, which is not. It has to be livable. Okay,
Gotta be livable.
Exactly. So I think the open houses really helps the buyers to see what's out there. And so my open house is about giving them information. You go to my open house and this is 1,300 square feet. This is a 2-bedroom, 3-bath, or I wish it was like that, right? I mean, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And it just gives them the feeling of what is out there.
Yeah, and it lets them kind of feel, this is what 1,300 square foot feels like versus 1,500. It's like, here's what 1,800 it's like. And there's really nothing like watching someone go through and say, yeah, we probably want more like 1,800. Then you put them in something that's 1,400 and it's like perfect for them. And it's like, see, this one's more in budget. You'll like the electric bill on this one better. It's a little newer.
Yes.
So.
And then the lot size also has to do, do you want a big backyard? The square footage of the lot itself is also...
It's also part of it.
Yes. So having open houses just to give information, and I'm there to answer any questions. So if somebody's ready or wants to know, what the process is, then that's what I'm there for.
Do you bring snacks to your open house?
Sometimes.
Okay.
I do bring water for sure.
Okay.
And if it's summer, I do bring like drinks, like Coke or Sprite. I'm a Coke person, so.
Me too. All day long.
Yes.
What about signs? How many signs do you usually do for your open houses?
I do a minimum of 5 or 6.
Okay.
Okay. Depending on some locations don't let you put too many. They're with the city regulations, so you gotta check into that before you put 12 signs and then get fined.
Gotcha. Okay. And what about sign-in sheet? Do you believe in the sign-in sheet, or do you usually just let people kind of come and go as they please?
I do have a
So we
sign-in
have a
sheet.
50-50 split on this one with everyone we talk to.
Yes. I think it's important to do the sign-in sheets just so the seller know who was in their property. I think that's very important. But, a lot of people don't want to give their information. So that's when you know if a person is committed to, because they really want to buy. So if you're not going to force anybody to sign anything, right? But, if you're willing to give your information, that means you are taking this serious, more serious than not.
Okay.
We're always scared about, I don't want to give my information.
I know, right? It's like then we go on Facebook and they have everything about us.
Exactly.
Gosh, you go on Instagram and they're like advertising you like security software, and it's like, how did you know that's how I was feeling?
I know. So.
But I totally get that. So my last question is always, one of my favorites personally. But I want to ask you, if you could go back and talk to yourself when you first got licensed and you first got into real estate, what advice would you give yourself, and what would that conversation look like?
That's a really good question.
You get a couple cups of coffee, some cookies of your choosing, and 3 hours. What would you talk about?
Okay, so let's see. If I go back in time, I would also try to get more listings as well.
Okay, so you tell yourself, get more listings. Don't
Yes.
just focus on the buyers.
Right, and I would start it of investing in properties as well.
Okay.
So
So you said, go buy some properties, put your coffee down, go buy the properties.
yes.
And get some listings
Yes.
while you're at it. Okay.
And keep in touch with all your past clients.
Okay.
So those
So
are the
follow up. That
Yes,
follow up's
follow
really
up.
important. Yeah, because like that one client, you'll find them. Like I have those clients too, where you help them and you put all that effort, and then you realize, oh, you bought another house with someone else. It's like, yeah. No, I have a lot. I have those all the time. It's just one of those things where you gotta, keep up with these people, or they'll, they forget that you exist.
Yes, exactly.
But it's a busy world.
It is.
So.
It is. So.
But anyway, I'm glad you took time out of your busy world and your busy day to come join me in my boring world in front of these cameras and all of you fantastic, beautiful people. Thank you so much for joining me for the Mortgage Minute. Gisela, you were just awesome. It was fantastic getting to talk to you about real estate and everything in between. You are fantastic, and I look forward to open houses with you.
Thank you.
Snacks.
Thank you so much.
and water.
We'll have
Yeah, so-
Cokes and cookies.
Yes.
But see, the thing is, if we don't have a lot of people coming in, then I eat all the cookies. So.
Well, I'll have some cookies with you. I'll definitely have some cookies. They'll have some cookies with you.
Yes.
Like this video if you haven't. Share it with all of your friends. Make sure to drop a comment below. Giselle's information is going to be in the comment section. But make sure to let me know what you guys think of the live stream. If you guys want to be part of it, make sure you DM me. I'm available anytime. You can also DM Mr.